Good afternoon. I'm going to chat with you today in this business growth video series, about a very, very important concept of how you respond to different challenges, how we respond to different challenges. Ultimately, of course, business and being in business is about giving you more life. It's not about doing more work. It's about working smarter, not harder. So we know all of that stuff. But what does it mean when you say give you more life? What does it mean when I ask you the question, are you operating above the line or below the line? So the first question really is, what does that line represent to you? Right? There's a straight line across a piece of paper. What does it mean to you? And I call that line the line of choice. Why do I say that? Well, because below the line, there's one response, and above the line is a totally different response. Talking to a client recently, and we all know these people, right? Person operating below the line, they dealing with blame, they're dealing with excuses, they're dealing with denial. And so the person I was talking to was saying, it's so difficult to get staff. It's impossible to get staff. We're in New Zealand at the moment. It's impossible to get staff. There's shortages of material. The cost of living is going through the roof. It's the Prime Minister's fault. It's the Finance Minister's fault. It's Ukraine's fault. A whole bunch of reasons, right? But in no time was this person actually saying, that is all happening out there. How do I respond? And the difference when you're operating below the line, and that's a choice, it sits between our ears, it's a choice. The difference between that and operating above the line is that above the line, the person's taking ownership, they're taking accountability, they're taking responsibility. Let's look at that briefly. And I think this is an important concept to grasp onto. If you take ownership, and it's a little bit trite, I get that, but it's own your ship, right? It's you take responsibility for your ship, regardless of what storms are raging in the ocean. You own that ship, you need to take responsibility for it. Accountability is an interesting one as well. If you know your numbers, right? So the person I was referring to said that getting staff is too difficult. If they know their numbers, they know what they're paying their staff, they know how long it's taking, they know which adverts work, which adverts for staff don't work, they have tested and measured that, they can then be accountable. They're not going to have 100% success every time, but they can be accountable and say, right, we tried this, we tried that, we tried that, this works, A works, B doesn't work, C works better. So being accountable is about knowing your numbers and being able to account for them, hence the term accountable. Right? Speak to your accountant, they'll certainly tell you that. The third word there is responsible. And really that's about how do you respond? What is your response? How able are you to respond to something? So whether the things are tough, whether there's a war going on in Ukraine, whether there are supply chain challenges, whether it is difficult to get staff, we all have choices. We have a choice to operate above the line or below the line. And given the sporting analogy, OAR, an oar, right? Imagine you're in a canoe, you're in a waka, and you've got to paddle. It's not easy, because sometimes you've got to paddle against the stream, you've got to paddle against the prevailing conditions. But by doing it, and by everyone working together, you manage to actually push yourself to the next place. Whether you're going up the river, whether you're going across the ocean, you're paddling, you're working together, you're taking responsibility, you're taking ownership for your waka, and you're moving forward. The flip side of that is, actually, you might as well stay in bed. Don't even bother to get up. If you're going to live in a situation of, as a victim, right, the world's acting against me, then you're not going to get far, and you're not going to get far ahead either. If you want to be a victor, and you want to win the race, you want to win in the game of business, you've got to take ownership, you've got to take responsibility, and you've got to take accountability. Because, and the final really thing about this is, below the line is about reasons. The reason I couldn't do this, the reason I couldn't do that, it's the whole thing. I don't know if it was the same for you when you grew up. Why didn't you do your homework? Well, the cat ate my homework and the dog ate the cat, and then of course the dog ran away. So I had lots of reasons, not me, but other people, of course. And above the line is about results. So I chose to say, hey, I'm going to focus on results. My encouragement to you today is to do exactly the same. Every single challenge that you face, choose results. Don't go for reasons. Look at the reasons, understand them, understand what's causing it, choose ownership, choose accountability, choose responsibility. If you want a bit of help in how to do that, you want to talk to your teams about how to do it, my details are on the screen, Chris at thecenterofbusinessexcellence.com. My telephone number is there. Give me a shout, and let's make sure we can get this going in your business. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.